Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It's Friday, March 22nd, I believe. Yep. Yep, it's the 22nd. So, what are we going to talk about today? Pete kind of brought it to light when you were mentioning Jeep sitting out in the field for 4 years and talking to people. And I'm not sure if you guys find it the case, but I do. And I think it's because I'm open to it. I'm approachable. But we also have to be kind of like a mentor social worker at times. And it's one good thing about a lot of the younger people they see, they still have respect in their elders. As goofy as we are, you know, they will still listen. But I think it depends upon how you're trying to tell them something. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss Friday's show, right? Alright, so welcome back. My name is Eric. If you didn't already know that. If this is your first time, welcome. Sit back and enjoy. We love having you. I do the Monday through Friday show, the weekday, and then usually something pops out on the weekend. But I try to deal in stuff that has to do with whether it be business, personal growth, or both. And sometimes they both do meet together. Now, for most of you, you know that I've had the shop for sale for some time. And when you're selling something, especially on Marketplace, you're going to get some real winners, and then you're going to get some winners. And also with being customer service, you decide how far you want to go when it comes to your customer, right? Now, I know I've said it before, but I am truly interested in my customer. If a new customer comes through my door, I'm looking at how can I take that next customer and not only have them as a customer, but also have them as a friend. And because I like camaraderie, I like, what some people call small talk. How are the kids? How's the wife? Or how's the husband? How are the kids? How's things going with you? And sometimes, just by saying those couple words, they just open up to you. And they bare their soul and their heart. So I had a young fella yesterday that wanted to come take a look at the shop. And I'm like, sure, when you want to come see it. And he said, I work till 5, can I come after 5? And I said, well, I'm usually in for the night by 3:30, and I'm kind of out of it until the next morning. 'Cause I like to have that time to just settle down with the dogs and the wife and watch some TV before I go to bed and put dinner on. And so I try to plan things for, if you want to catch me before 3 o'clock. And then on the weekends before 3 o'clock. Because 3 o'clock I go in, and that's the time I spend with the dogs and my wife, cooking the meals, doing this, doing that. So he texted me back and he said, I'm almost to my lunch hour. Can I come out on my lunch hour? Sure. But what I do is, if somebody sends me a message through Facebook Marketplace, most of the time, not most of the time, some of the time I'll click on the profile, their details to see, are they local, are they, and sometimes it comes up as nothing because some people just don't have Facebook. They have a page, but there's nothing on it. They don't talk, nothing, comment. So he was very punctual, on time. I told him, I said, we don't take lunch, so. But I look at his profile, and he's hot and heavy into the side-by-side group. And he started a business on the side of where they customize the side-by-sides, work on engines. He works on motorcycles, ATVs. And I told him, I said, when he showed up, I said, I can't lie to you. I checked your profile, and I'm really interested in, what you're doing with that. And he said, it's kind of hard with nights and weekends. So, but the work is there, right? And he said, well, it is and it isn't. But he said, you got to chase to get the money too. I said, welcome to the crowd. I thought he was looking at the property to expand his side-by-side business and his motorcycle business as far as repairs and doing there's a word for it, add-ons, customization of people's side-by-sides. Because up here, I don't know what it is in your area, but up here it's really big. When I was in my 20s, snowmobiling was the big thing. And not too many people had a four-wheeler. I did because we farmed it. So I had a couple Big Bear Yamaha on the farm. And I can remember earlier than that, we had like a big red three-wheeler. Everybody had three-wheelers. So I just assumed that he wanted the shop to take it to the next level, working on customization and builds and rebuilds. So I said, what are your plans, Rick? And that's where sometimes you need to listen. And don't say anything. It's kind of like yesterday. Sometimes doing nothing is actually doing something. But just for me, I just like, stop. Let me hear him out. He said that he and his wife of 13 years were getting separated. And he needed a place badly for him and his two kids. And I'm like, this is going to take a lot of work here. You realize that, to turn it back into a home. Because it's basically a bunker made out of concrete. And I said, there's no reckoning or whatever with someone that you've been with for 13 years, that maybe communication or. And he said, I've tried. He said that she has a drinking issue, a drinking problem. I said, well, that's sad. And that every couple of years she ends up with somebody else for a while and then comes back and says she'll never do it again. I said, how often has she done that? He said, about every 2 years of our relationship. Inside my head is saying, but at year 4, you should have said. But I I know how some people are. They remain hopeful that a person changes. And the thing is, a person doesn't change unless they want to change. And that's why I explained to him. I said, there's nothing on God's green earth that you can do to make her change. Nothing. The only one you can make any changes is yourself. And what you're going to do for you, and what are you going to do for the kids? I said, she doesn't want the kids. He said, well, she's too busy with her friends and her lifestyle, and that's kind of sad. And I told him I had been a single parent, for a few years, and it was difficult. And it was the hardest thing I did, and it's the best thing I ever did. And that's why I told him, I said, just keep your chin up. But when we got all done with it, he ended up spending his whole lunch hour and probably a little bit more. And I figured if he got into trouble, I know his boss. His auto repair shop. I was just going to give him a call and just say, look, it's on me, not him, okay? But there was no problems. The boss knew where he was at. But that's how it is. Sometimes we have to be social. Just to listen to people. And a lot of times, as I let him do, if you let someone talk long enough, they already know the answer. Just hearing it out loud, because they haven't been able to voice it with anybody else, brings it to the forefront. And I've done that. I've had that happen to myself, where I'd be stewing on something. But once I was able to say something out loud, and it's like, I know the answer. So we can't always just be the repair guy. And I know you older guys have mentored different people and, taken people underneath your wing and try to give them good sound advice. Because if you watch my channel, time gets experience, gets wisdom. And I explained to him, that I've been through a divorce with kids. I know all about it. And I was lucky I had the kids in the beginning. Yep. So do you have any stories like that of where you are the social worker / therapist, mentor? Because I know I'm not the only one. But I've noticed as I've gotten older, I can give a lot of advice. I no longer tell people what to do. I give them advice, as I do on this channel. Whatever advice I give, take what you need, leave the rest. I'm happy. As long as it makes your life easier, that's all that counts. So let me know what you think. Alright, so I'm going to start wrapping this up. I guess the point of today's video is sometimes we have to be more than just a repair shop. And more so if you're in a rural community where everybody knows everybody. And everybody is willing to help out everybody else when they're in need. That's just the way we are up here. Whether you're broke down on the side of the road and you're from out of state, if you're broke down on our roads up here, we will stop and make sure everything is okay And if you got a flat tire, we're the first ones to hop into action and help you out. That's just the way it is up here. As you get closer to the city, as I know, I mean, my wife's family is from down around Yonkers. And when I first started going out with my wife, nobody knew anybody on the block. They didn't communicate. It's kind of like, just stay inside. Everybody had friends, but not readily right there on the block. And I would go for a walk, and I would stop, and I would visit with somebody, and then the next person, and the next person. And within a couple of years, everybody in that street were talking to each other. It's like they'd never been shown how to talk to each other before, or it was like, ooh, you can't do that. But that's just the way it is sometimes. So, you guys have a great Friday, and we'll catch up with you here bright and early Monday morning for the weekday. I don't know what I got planned so far for the weekend. What I can tell you is we can't test out the lawnmowers that we fixed because we've got almost 4.5 foot of snow, or 4.5 inches of snow now. And right now it's 12 degrees outside. Mother Nature is going to be my demise. All right, you guys have a great Friday.